Hey, good morning, everybody. Sarasota Tim. Welcome to Morning Chat here in beautiful Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. I'm at my campground. It's just getting daylight, and it's another beautiful, stellar day. The forecast is just absolutely amazing. We don't have the real fall cold weather yet. It's coming, but we absolutely do have low humidity, warm but not hot, just right. Sunny, low wind, low humidity, gorgeous, perfect weather for the next foreseeable future, for as long as I'm going to be here anyway, because soon I will be leaving, unfortunately, and heading back down to Georgia to stay a small stint down there to hopefully get some video of the October colors and all that. And speaking of that, today is September 30th. The last day of the month. Time is flying by and time is limited. You only have one life, folks. Get out there and live it. I can't believe that another month of the calendar is being torn off, starting tomorrow with the beginning of October of 2025. I mean, where has this year gone? And then next thing you know, don't blink, 26, 27, 2030. And I was talking to a couple of neighbors of mine last night that I've gotten acquainted with. I've met some very nice people here in the park, and we were all just getting into it about how wonderful it is of talking to other RVers and like-minded people that are sort of, when we're home and we're doing our own thing, we got our own thing going on. We don't change much. We're still good people if you are a good person. You try to be, and I try to be. But in this environment here, it's like whatever is yours is theirs, and whatever theirs is yours. In other words, it doesn't matter if you need a cup of sugar or an assistance with something you got going on with your RV. People are here to help you. And that was made very clear to me last night of a couple of gentlemen I met, John and Eric, that are neighbors of mine. They'll be departing today, heading back to their homes. They travel together. They've known each other for a long time. A couple of great guys from the great state of Maryland. And anyway, it's sorry to see them leave. I wish I'd got acquainted with them a little sooner than I did. But they were two very, very interesting people. Well, we exchanged phone numbers. And if I'm ever in the area, I've been invited to come by and see. If I ever need any help, they're trailers, they got tools. These guys are manly men, and they know how to do stuff. And, while I'm not helpless, there's a lot of things that I can't do. And he said, Eric actually, he said, I got 500 phone numbers in my phone. He says, no matter where you're at, you need something, you let me know. I mean, these guys, just met me essentially. They've been watching the channel. They saw the stickers on my truck. And they investigated because I walk around here with my selfie stick and I make videos. And they were like, well, what's this guy up to? What's he doing? And they saw the channel. And Eric and John both said to their wives, like, hey, look, here's our RV. He's got our RV in the video. We're famous. But no, really, they were a joy to talk to last night. I stepped out of the camper to take my trash out after I had those ribs, which were, I ate them because I'm a dog. I'll eat them. But they were not fall off the bone, excellent ribs. You got to cook them a lot slower. Maybe I should have boiled them first, or I should have put them in aluminum foil. But I was very, very tired yesterday when I got back from golfing. So I just threw them on there. But like I do everything, I just flip, right? I just flip stuff. But guess what? I don't eat it raw. Once it's cooked, I'll eat it. I'm easy to please. So I took my trash out, and one of the guys over there yelled, hey, Tim, how you doing? I'm like, who's that? So I walked over, and we spent, best part of an hour chatting each other up and talking about various things and life. We hit on all kinds of topics. We really did. And they were just a pleasure to know. I've got their names and number. And so moving on from that, they'll be departing this morning and going another halfway to where they live in Maryland to another campground, which they always stop at on the way home. It's about 300 miles. They got about a 600-mile trip. And so they just break it up into 2 days. And that's the way to do it. I said, are you doing the 3-3-3? Stop by 3 o'clock, drive 300 miles a day, and stay 3 days somewhere? He said, no, but that's a good idea, if you never heard of that. So let's talk about something else, but let's first make a single cup of coffee, because I drank the whole mason jar full of coffee. I want to thank Miss Raffaella again for giving me this. Since I started getting gnats or whatever it was in my coffee in the morning, and I poured myself a cup, put it in the microwave, and then when I add the cream, those little black gnats showed up, and it was disgusting. So I immediately put my coffee in a mason jar after it's made, turn the eye off, and I just reheat it. And I got nothing against drinking coffee later that day that I made that morning, or even the next morning. I really don't care. Maybe not 2 days. So I'm going to make a pot here and talk to you guys about a couple of topics. Some of you are tired of hearing it. Others don't care what I talk about. And I want to talk about a couple of things. One, I'd like to say this. Regarding the date, yesterday was the 29th, my 4-month anniversary of carnivore. And it seems like I went bad for the last couple of weeks, I guess, between those non-alcoholic beers and the diet soda. Now, some of you told me the diet soda won't hurt me. It might spike my insulin or something, which is not going to help me, but it might be a good idea to eschew those from my diet. All right, we're going to pour 2 cups. Now, how much coffee am I going to need? I've never done this before. Let me look on the side there and see how much went in. Crush it! I do want to crush that up. It takes too much room in my garbage can. Man, I go through garbage bags a lot. All right, let's get us a filter out. This is the most difficult thing I can't stand. Look at that, I got one. I got one, first time. Awesome. Put that in there. You see me? Come on in here. Let's get together. I don't want to leave you alone out there. Before I put the coffee in, let me turn it sideways. I'm charging up my tank. My RV has a USB-A and a USB-C right back here next to the plugs for my coffee, which I have 2 plugs for the coffee. Let's see here. If the man could see, I think it's on right about 6. So 8 is 4. 4 would be 2, but it's got 6. I'll go with 2.5 or 3 scoops. Don't ever want to go too low, right? Can't do that. Can't have weak coffee. Plus the cream will make it fine. So here he goes. 1, 2, and 1 to grow on. Because what happens is a lot of the water gets absorbed into the grounds and in that filter. So not really all of it comes out. And that should be plenty of coffee. Get me hopped up. In fact, I was noticing I was extra hopped up earlier doing my dishes and standing up here. So I got up this morning. I'm going to share with you a couple of things. And I'm always cautious about like everything I want to talk about, especially when it's a topic that, looks like I'm wishy-washy. You're like, that's everything, Baker. It is. And I don't care, because this therapeutic speaking out loud to my phone and to my community helps me. And everybody knows I am a Christian. I do trust in God. I do pray about things, even though I try to get ahead of myself, or ahead of God, I should say, on things that I want to do or go or money I want to spend. But God is always, He loves me. And He lets me think I can tighten that rope up, take all the slack out, go all the way to pulling the trigger, and all of a sudden, yank, He pulls me back. I can't reach my bank account. I can't reach what I wanted to do. I don't do what I said I was going to do. And it just gives me cause to pause. And I've can't tell you how blessed I am to have that governor, the good Lord, to help me out. So it's regarding the motorcycle. You have no idea how close I came to pulling a trigger on this particular one. Now, there's many motorcycles out there that are available to purchase, but this particular one I thought had my name on it. And I went as far as I was going to leave this morning and drive to this other state and look at it, which meant I'd probably buy it. The gentleman is a super nice guy. It's a super nice motorcycle. He is the second owner. It has under 10,000 miles on it. And how is it that people keep selling this motorcycle that haven't even put 10,000 miles on it between two owners? That's not to say that's the reason that I kind of tapped the brakes on the idea. It's just, it is curious, you know. And these are motorcycles that can go 1,000,000 miles, supposedly. So I ask him his reason, and he gives you, you know, like anybody would tell you whatever, why they're selling, you know, and you can believe it or not. Whatever it is, you know, most of the time it sounds pretty logical. Like the guy in Naples that sold his bike that I wanted to buy. He lost his friend, and he's not riding with his buddy anymore. He doesn't like riding alone. His kids were getting on to him. He's getting up in the years. The bike's a bit heavy, and he just thought he should hang up his boots. And so he had the decision that just comes to where one day you decide you don't want to pull a camper anymore. You know? You don't want to ride two wheels. You want to get a trike. There just comes times in life. So there are legitimate, perfectly understandable reasons why people do certain things. But when you got a brand new, very desirable, very pretty, very rare, almost rare, bike that's not available in the used market, that I think I like, you know, the color and all that kind of stuff, you just have to question, why did the first guy, I mean, I've seen used ones online with 200 and 300 miles on it. Used. Now, what is up with that? I don't know. It's very curious, though. So anyway, the money was, because it's such a nice bike, you can ride, right? You can imagine, right? The price is up there. And things are worth what people will pay for them. Why else would someone pay $50,000, $20,000, $10,000 for a watch, or $100,000 for a ring, or $50,000 more for a house than it's worth? People will pay what they want to pay for something they want. But there are guidelines, there are values, there are trends, there are books that give you, you know, what banks are looking at those because of what they'll loan you on a house, car, motorcycle, and the like. So there are guidelines, but that's just a guide. Some things that have a value in the guideline, in the book, you can't even get half of that because nobody wants it. So, and then when you get the opposite, supply and demand, you know the story, right? So anyway, this particular motorcycle is had a couple of modifications done, which do not have anything to do with the book value. Like Harley people, they're always putting all this chrome on. They spend $10,000 on chrome. I mean, some guys do. $2,000 seats and highway pegs and all these different things. It does not do anything to influence the book value. It's still what it is, stock. However, the person buying it may appreciate that if they plan on accessorizing something as well and say, well, you know, if I can get all that stuff versus one that I would have to buy all that stuff for and put on, you know, so everything is a balance. So this guy is asking, you know, plenty of money for this motorcycle. And he's wanting most he can get, and I'm wanting to get for as least as I can pay for it, right? Like anybody. So Let's take a look at the color of this delicious. I think I did well. Look at that. Let's see what we got here. Oh, yeah, folks. I got that heavy whipping cream in there. I got from Kroger. That's got good color. Come on in here. Look at the color. Yep, nice and light. You know, you don't want it milky. We'll get back to the story in a minute. You don't want it milky. Definitely slurpable. The temperature that the coffee maker makes it versus the microwave, and then with the ice cold cream, of which did have a minute or two to temp up. Folks, that's the best cup of coffee I ever drank in my life. Man, that's good coffee. That's at McAfee. That's all I buy. That's all I drink. That's all I want. If it gets any better than this, I don't want anything to do with it. Unless I'm at home, I'll stop into Scooters and grab a cup because they got $1 coffee too. And they give you a senior discount on it. It's like 90 cents. But all the McDonald's, except if you're in Broward County, Florida, Fort Lauderdale, they don't do anything for anybody down there. It's just all about the money. They like laughed at me when I said, "You got a senior coffee?" No, we don't do that. Folks, that is so good. Man, that's good coffee. McDonald's, baby. So the gentleman's asking the money for the bike. And I say, all right, it's not but a few hours away. I'm going to be up here a little longer. It's a drive. It's a pretty drive. Go look at it, you know? And so he's like, yeah, come look at it. Come buy it. And I went golfing and everything, and I thought about it, and then I gave him a call back later, and I said, you know, it's really unfair to negotiate over the phone. It really is, to the seller and for the buyer, because maybe I'll have more value in my mind. I would pay more if I see the bike and the emotions get involved, and I appreciate the accessories, or I learn about service records, or whatever it is. It gives me more value in my mind, and it's really the person that you're buying it from, if there's good chemistry. Now, we got it on the phone, and vice versa. I got a better chance of getting a lower price if I'm there with money in hand and ready to talk, ready to make the purchase, because people buying want to buy and people selling want to sell. And when they see your money, they're like, this is what I'm looking to do. Let's make medicine. But I kind of put the cart in front of the horse. I don't know if it was a mistake, because it was a long drive to go without finding and feeling somebody out like, hey, what kind of number can we realistically expect to sell this motorcycle for? And right away, he tried to be upfront, just like a lot of dealers do, about we don't add dealer fees. Hey, look, I'll just tell you right now, I won't take less than this. This is what I want for the bike. And if you don't want this thing that I put on it, I'll take it off and put the other thing back on, and you can have it for a little bit less. I mean, there was plenty of negotiable options that were presented to me from this very, very nice gentleman. Unfortunately, the number that he came down to was negligible. I mean, if I was going to buy it for what he offered it to me for, I would have bought it for what he was asking for it, because there wasn't enough difference. So I said, well, if that's going to be the case, then, you know, sell it to somebody else. I'm sure got other calls coming in, and he just listed it. And like I said earlier, people will pay what they will pay. It's worth what somebody will give you for it. And for me, I'm willing to give a little extra and all that, but I don't want to. Here's the thing. Folks, that's good coffee. When you buy something new, you lose your butt. We just did that with the Honda Accord. And I've already lost a lot of money after taking money out, paying cash, and then getting money back. And it was like, okay, it cost you so much money to drive that car for like 8 months. So I started thinking, what if you sell this motorcycle within a year or even 2 years, which would likely be the longest I would keep it? I mean, people keep things a long, long time, but I'm not one of those kind of people. Never have been, probably will never will be. So I said, well, what would be if I gave him what he wants or what he's talking about? What is the resale value of this bike going to be? I mean, it's already a few years old. In 2 more short years, when you get to be 5 years old on a car, motorcycle, anything like that, an RV, that's when they really, are down 30 to 50% of what they sold for. Half. So it's already taken a little bit of depreciation, and he's willing to lose a little bit of that because he bought it used. And then he's going to give it to me a little bit less, but he wants really more than the book value because of the accessories and stuff that he's done. And based on what he paid, he doesn't want to lose his ass. So, but I'm going on rational, not emotional. Is it worth to ride a motorcycle like these guys that only put a couple of thousand miles on it in a year or so, or 2? Is it worth that little time in the saddle to get back several $1,000s less than you gave? I mean, you can go out and rent one several times and not spend that kind of money. And with the economy and things going on now, aside from that, you only got one life. If you're not going to go broke and you're going to be able to pay your rent and get your groceries and pay your bills, and you got money left over and you want it, go for it. And this is true. It isn't about, well, I'll just die with my money, and I figured, well, I got a little bit of money and I sold my car and this is a fun thing and I want to enjoy my life. But if I sell that thing a year or 2 from now and, the emotions are over and I get back $6,000-8,000 less money, versus investing that money into something else that would better my life, or buying another motorcycle that it would only cost me a couple of $3,000 over a couple of years, because you're not going to make money on them. That's one thing. But to lose $5,000 or $7,000, like here's all this money, and then 2 short years goes by like that. I didn't use it. I used it a lot. Whatever. If I use it a lot, then the value is going to go down even more miles on it. Or I don't use it and I keep it pristine, but it still goes down because it's now 5 years old. And maybe they come out with something new because they haven't changed them since 2018. Maybe the new generation will come out and they're like, well, we don't want that old junk you got. That's the old style. We want the new. So all these things. And I just woke up this morning feeling peace that he didn't want to come close to the number that I had in mind, and I'm certainly not going to go to the number he's got in mind. So I thought, there's other motorcycles, and that can still be contemplated. But I'm at the point now, and you can't believe a damn thing I say, that I'm almost past it. It's like I've lived it and I've gotten what I wanted out of it by watching the videos and now finally talking to someone on the phone, coming close to pulling the trigger, thinking about how much less it would be worth in a couple of years, about my money, everything. And I think God ultimately said, I'm going to let you go around in circles for several days. I'm going to let you have your little fantasy about going back into riding a motorcycle. And then I'm going to give you a reality check. And then I'm going to take it away from you. You're going to take that rope, you're going to keep pulling out the slack, and then boom, it tightens up just short of getting to Wells Fargo. And so that's where I'm at today. And I feel good about it. Yesterday, let me tell you how the extreme went from yesterday to today. From yesterday, when I never got a call back, and I don't know how we left it, whether he was supposed to call me or I'm supposed to call him. It was like, you think about it, I'll think about it, and we'll never talk to each other again, because I'm just going to look for somebody else to buy it, or I was going to my thoughts were, I'll just look for another one, But all night I kept on pins and needles, is he going to call? Is he going to call? And maybe he thought the same thing because he wants to sell. And nobody called. Nobody called. And I woke up this morning and, I don't know what I would say if I did get a call from him. He did say he had other people that have called. He just hadn't got back to them yet. He is not, I repeat, he is not a poor person. This guy has other motorcycles. This guy has money. This guy is way above me. Like anybody that owns those bikes. Those are $30,000 motorcycles. You know, I got no business looking at a Corvette or a Porsche or a Goldwing likely. I mean, look at me. I'm just this guy, you know, with an RV and a truck. It's all I own in the world. That and my smile. That's $1 million smile there. So, you know, I just love how God continually works in my life. Keeps guiding me and directing me. Otherwise, I'm very impressionable. I'm very influenceable. I can be influenced like that. And I'm learning though. I'm learning as I mature and as I watch things, like a lot of things that we've been told that we should think this way about this particular product or this person or this politic or this rule or whatever. And, you know, it's been dogmatically put in our heads. And anybody that says anything different, they don't know what they're talking about. And then all of a sudden you have an epiphany, or you speak to this person, or you do your own study and your own critical thinking, and you say, you know what? I've been thinking wrong about this person, this product, this place, this thing, anything. Just pick. I'm not thinking about any one thing. And do your own decisions, and then trust that God will also nudge you if you're seeking him first, and he will. In every decision of your life, you really will. And so that's where I'm at today. And I feel very good about it. And I feel like having another sip of this delicious coffee. In fact, folks, this is the best cup of coffee I've ever drank in my life. Man, this is good. So I got me a new shirt on. You know, I don't go into Walmart without buying a new shirt. And before I end the video, let me tell you what's going on today. Thanks for letting me bend your ear about the motorcycle. It was mainly venting myself. It's the same thing. I won't go into it with the damn iPhone. You know, I got a phone. Got a great phone. I need all of these things. Do you need a hole in your head? I don't either. So you need it like a hole in the head. But here's the new thing that you might see today on video. When I was coming back from golfing yesterday, I made a little video, but I didn't upload it. These cars, these young kids like to buy and fix up with the wheels and the lights and the wheel wells. But the thing is all of these cars had one thing they all had. And the tires were mag wheels and stuff like that. And they had the fancy paint work and different modifications. But the tires were literally in like this. And the top was in towards the motor, the top of the tire, and the bottom of the tire was like it was riding on its edge, like it was broken. All four wheels. Craziest thing you ever seen in your life. And it was like 6 or 7 of them in a row. They were doing like a meet. You know, they do like a meet, like when I used to have my Civic Si or a Goldwing meet or whatever it is. And they follow each other around through the Smokies and pull over at certain spots and get out and look at each other's cars. It's called a meet. And they get on these forums and they arrange them. So I'm like, man, that's pretty cool. So I made a video, but I didn't put it up. I was driving and couldn't see it too good. It's too short. I said, well, let me go to Walmart because I can't go home without going to Walmart. I got to get some stuff. Always need stuff. I get to Walmart and what do I see? Those cars and about 50 more of them. And then while I'm parked there and I'm looking at my video, my golf video, I'm trying to edit it, use Walmart's Wi-Fi. Tractor trailers, 1-ton dually trucks with long trailers on them that carry cars. Not like the ones that come to the dealerships where they got like 10 on there, but these flatbed super long trailers that have 4 and 5, 3 vehicles. Because those tires, some of these guys are coming from long and far. I guess you can't ride down the freeway. I don't even know how legal it is. You know, or from a great distance without wearing those tires out. So they just trailer them in. Plus they probably got a lot of money in them. They don't want to drive them. They do like the Rod Run does, and they bring them in on a trailer because, like I say, they got too much horsepower, or they're just not legal on the road, or they don't want to get them dirty. So you're going to see them. And last night I heard them up and down the parkway out here running. It's all these kids, and not all of them are kids. I saw Walmart was covered up with people, which was mainly those guys. They just came in yesterday. Likely they're going to be here for a few days, maybe even through the weekend for their big meet. So I'll get some video for you today out there on the Parkway, and no doubt they'll be all over the Smokies. They'll be everywhere, running around. And then at night, just like during the rod run, is when they come out, when all the traffic dies down and people go back to their rooms and whatever, and they own the Parkway. And I did hear them out there last night, just revving their engines up and stuff. So they've obviously got motor modifications and things like that, as well as the tire look. But the canted or the camber or whichever they call that is articulated so exaggerative, it's just crazy looking. And that's what they all have. I don't know what it's about, but I'm gonna interview a couple of them and ask them what the meat is and what this kind of style is, and how many are, maybe going to be here for this little club they got going on. So, all right, let's get out there today. Let's go hike a trail. That's what I'm ready to do today. I'm going to go get a parking pass. It's 7:56, almost 8 a.m. Plenty of time. Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg bypass is still closed from the mudslide. That's crazy how that happened. Not crazy with how much rain we got in a short period of time, but it wasn't like 2 or 3 days to do that. It was 1 day of rain, and that road is still closed. So you got to go through the Gatlinburg deal, but it's during the week right now. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal anytime, really. It's just a little slower on the weekend, but it's a very short area. But awesome people up here, awesome campground that I'm in, awesome golf yesterday with the 3 guys I played with. They were from Michigan. They're crushing it this morning. Well, I don't know if they're crushing it yet. A couple of those guys said, no, that ain't happening. One guy said he wanted to get out of here by 7 or 8 or something like that and get the 10-hour drive in. And the other 2 guys were like, no, that's not going to happen. So, but they'll be leaving this morning, as well as a couple of guys I mentioned, John and Eric and their wives are going to be pulling out, and I'll get some new neighbors in, no doubt. That was what I loved about living in Escondido, California, in San Diego in my Class C, is it was truly a campground with a lot of turnover, just like here. Where I live in Florida, over in Bradenton, it's a year-round. Very, very few, especially in the section I'm in, ever, except if they're snowbirds. They come and go. But there's not like every 3 or 4 days, new camper comes in. It's not a campground. It's a place where you live. And I'm glad to be there. I'm not glad about the rent increase I just got, but I'm thinking about, I know I'm going to end this video in a minute. I'm thinking about changing back to Visible Wireless. In fact, I'm going to do it, if I do it today, because they have a sale going on from $45 to $39 a month, all in. And it is a plan that has a strong enough hotspot to power my TV, which I have to have like home internet when I'm at home. I want to be able to watch, Hulu and Netflix and the cable and all that I have, which requires internet. And there is no Wi-Fi where I live. It doesn't work if we do have it. And I need plenty of it. And I need a good speed, because you can get what they call hotspot. It won't even power up your smart TV. You just sit there and spin. And I need good upload speed, like premium data. And Visible uses the Verizon network because they're owned by Verizon. And supposedly, since I've left them, this new plan is a boost and strength that can handle my needs. And to offset my rent increase that I got, I can do the Visible plan and get rid of T-Mobile. I don't need their Netflix and Hulu and their free things that I don't use anyway. And I don't need their once a year upgrade where they just basically are keeping you locked in. It's a kind of a trap. I've never done it anyway with them. I own my own phone. So if I'm getting the same thing is the same thing. Why would you pay $100 a month when you can pay $50 a month? And mine is $90 a month now, and I can get this other one for $39, and likely is going to be the same thing. I just got to check a few more things on it, and I might be switching. And if I do, I'll let you know. So if you're paying more than $39 or $45 a month for a cell phone, you don't have full online premium data. Premium, unthrottled, infinite, highest speed you can get, and all the hotspot with no limit at a good speed that will definitely power your smart TV or your laptop or your other internet devices at home. I'll let you know. All right, on that, crush it.